Welcome back to Egypt Old Kingdom. When last we visited Memphis, we were looking at the mysteries surrounding the scorpion figure, and we were also aiming to finish up subjugating the various tribes in the area. So the only one left is the rabbit people. So we're going to annex them. We are going also have a couple more people available now. And I'm going to put one of them over here. We're going to hunt these hyenas. I also want to clear out the acacia trees. I just want to spend some people to really boost our production. I really want to get that temple going. And we've got 17 production now. We're going to need roughly 60 stored up to really be able to successfully build that temple. So that's going on. I'm going to focus mostly on production. I do also want to be somewhat concerned about food. Over here was this thicket. Once we clear this out, this would be a good farmland area. And of course, we're clearing out more space over here for another workshop. Now, in terms of what do we want to worship next, we're good on Seth protection. And I think it's a fairly even choice right now between continuing with Horus and actually worshiping Ptah for the first time to get that extra production. But we wouldn't benefit a lot from it now. I'm thinking maybe another workshop up and then do it. So it's a tough call, but I am going to continue on just because of the culture bonus with Horus. And we don't have a lot of free labor available, but we do have these few areas that are being worked on and improved. And really nothing happening there. We'll just continue. And okay, we got hit by Seth, so only one of those left. So we've got an option to do things with rabbit people. Improving relations really doesn't help us much, because we're going to conquer them anyway. I mean, +1 favor is nice, but not a lot. And, you know, in case of failure, we lose relations, which we also wouldn't care about. So, it doesn't matter much either way, but we'll go for it. Oh no. It was conducted improperly and offended their gods. Such blasphemy greatly pushed our tribes apart. Who cares? Because we have 3 more turns until we fight them. Okay, now, technology-wise, I'm going to wait a bit. We could go with the Cult of Dead Rulers to get us +1 favor. That would be nice, but I want to push up to our next culture boost with administration. And these are 100, these are 170, so it's not that big of a gap between. I'm going to wait. Okay, more hyenas, and the thickets are down. Now we're going to go after these acacias for another dozen production. And then the thicket is up here. Let's go ahead and throw up my last workshop. I'm going to throw up before I actually go for the amount I need to hit here. And one more research available. Now, I could go for the plow first, and that's actually an interesting option to consider in terms of boosting our food. And, I mean, it's a tough call either way, I think, on these two, but I am going to hold on to our culture for a bit longer. And we're doing very well on luxuries. Food, again, you know, sliding, but we're going to get there because it's going to be cleared out soon. And they're going to let us know about cuneiform being invented in Mesopotamia, used to keep temple archives, write religious hymns and prayers, and of course, as writing develops, we begin to have a little bit more confidence in what we're looking at historically, once people are able to write down their thoughts and events that happened and all of that. So we're going to build a field here that will suck up a little bit more production, but, you know, our food is pretty low. So I think we can take that hit. And administration. So gradually, rulers' assistants received formal status, conducting government business in the names of their master. Most of the people were the rulers' relatives or members of the nobility, so definitely we have some nepotism occurring, but status depended on their talent and success of the service they carried out. So again, additional complexity, levels of bureaucracy as governments do begin to take more proper form. And we can build the palace now. We don't want to, but it's a possibility for us if we choose. And we have one more turn here. So I think we're ready to go for that. Workshop will be ready in a turn as well. Okay, and, ooh. That's not good. The spirits are opposing our victory. Hopefully we don't get ambushed then. Doggone, I didn't want to gamble. I clicked the wrong button there. But I think we're going to pay for it. I think we're rather going to be successful. That was a mistake that worked out in my favor. So I'll take it, but let's not keep doing that. Okay, so we've got our workshops. Ended the blessing of Horus. Yes, more areas were ruined, etc., etc. The field here was ruined. I think I probably want to take care of that right away, because I want to... Again, we have more people. Let's farm. And also farm here. After we... I mean, it's a minor amount, and then we'll be able to get more food out of this area. We're getting more food here soon in a moment. I'll be able to upgrade our population a little bit further. Okay. So I think we're going to stick with that deployment. Okay, climate's becoming wetter. The Great Desert recedes. Divine Horus retaking his lands from Seth. I'm sure that's the reason. World's ocean levels are rising and animals are returning. So we do get plus 5% boost to both favor and grain. So it's going to be excellent for us. Okay, grain fields are repaired. Acacias cut down. Oh, and we have now even more growth. We have an abundant rains event. So that's going to work out very well. Let's go ahead and... Now my next bit I want to do is I'm going to skip over the Cult of Dead Rulers again because I want to get the plow next and boost our farming. But we have another person available to us. Where should we put you? I mean, we could go after more farming here. Over here, you can go ahead and knock out that thicket, give us a few more production. But why don't you scout up this way, see what's there for me. Okay, nothing too exciting. Although I wouldn't mind going after these thickets. Or the hyenas either. Either one would work. And actually probably get the hyenas first. So let's go ahead and take them down. And we can get our plow. Soil for sowing, initially broken up with sticks and hoes, but later Egyptians started to use the plow. Wooden plow, or ard, was light, no moldboard, and well suited for malleable Egyptian soil, sometimes drawn by animals, but more often people pulled it themselves. So, again, very low-tech farming at this point, but we are making advances. Significantly increased agriculture output, plus 0.2 to grain fields, plus 0.2 to flax, and plus 0.2 of each to pastures. I think at this point is the point where pastures start becoming a lot more useful, although we haven't explored up in the highlands to use them. But boosting, you know, both of those, they're starting to not be as, you know, inefficient to use. Alright, so we do have enough for another round here, although, you know, we would lose our Seth protection, but I should probably wait another turn or two before I invest in that, I think. So yeah, I'm just gonna hold off. We are gradually ramping up, though. We're not that far away, just not quite ready yet. And here's another bit of population. Now, if we wanted to build a palace, I'm actually going to put the temple here. But if we wanted to build a palace, there we go. It gives us plus 10% culture every turn. But as you can see, they're quite expensive. They cost actually just as much as the temple, I believe, to build, and then you can see significant upkeep. And so we just, we can't afford that, at least at this stage. And then the temple, if we were to try to build this, you can see, I mean, we're losing 18 a turn. We just don't have enough to survive 4 turns of this going on. So that's not quite an option yet. So I'm actually going to send you up here, where I think I'm going to go after even more thickets. Hyenas, we're up to 57. Okay. And Lower Egypt has become independent again, so much for the influence of the Scorpion. Rulers of the Delta proclaim themselves independent horses, decline to pay tribute to Hyrcanpolis and Abydos. The danger of strife and war looms. So apparently unifying Egypt, again, not the most simple task. And we're losing favor again. Ancestral duties rising. Hyenas. Now, I think that we are actually ready at this point to build the temple. It's 57 should be just enough. We're going to get a little bit more from these thickets. And, I think with the bits that we're going to bring in, we'll be just able to accomplish it. So let's go for it. There we go. Okay, so do I want to clear out the sand? I mean, I'm going to want to use this territory eventually. But we do have another person available. Let's go ahead with that. We're going to want to grab the Cult of Dead Rulers now. That'll counteract our loss of favor, basically. So, deep respect for rulers of the chiefdoms led them to being posthumously venerated as ancestors. So the former pharaohs and other rulers begin to be looked upon as deities, deemed to be able to define the existence of their tribe as they did in life. And guardians for stability, power came close to that of the forefather gods. +1 favor every turn. And I'm still not entirely sure. I think I want to focus in now that we've got this production issue solved to build the temple. I really think I need to focus in on doing a better job of bringing in more food. So I'm going to clear out these swamps down here. I'm just going to shift that direction. And we're probably going to have enough here. But I could, you know what? I'm going to worship Ptah anyway, just to make sure that we have enough. Because I'm not 100% certain on the math, and that should definitely put us over the limit there if we are going to run short without it. Okay. Abundant rains have ended. Nature is turning back to its previous state. Seth resuming influence. And we're starting to really increase our population nicely here, which I like. And I also should, because of that, I should probably work on this. Expanding this housing. And plus that'll help us to be able to clear out some of the other housing areas, put other things there. So just thinking ahead, it's probably worth plus 25% housing limit in 8 turns. So it takes a while. It's 30 years or so. But let's go for it. We have 2 more turns here, and it looks like we're just going to make it. Particularly with this thicket about to go away, and I think I need you to be clearing this out. I'm not sure why I wasn't doing that already. Ooh. New cereal crop. So every once in a while, one of your farming or production, etc. areas will give you an opportunity, after you've been working there for a while, to do this. Through the efforts of many generations, farmers have amassed a hefty amount of knowledge in growing cereals. They're ready to make a breakthrough and are waiting for your orders. Okay, so that's right here, and we have 3 different choices. We can simply get an extra harvest right now, plus 8 food. We can have a high yield crop that will allow us to feed more people, minus 10% to the creation price of more workers. That can add up over time. But I actually prefer to go with the third one here, which is the more resistant prop, and it's just a permanent bonus, and it's actually going to almost double our yield in this particular field forever. So we're just going to go with that. And due to the thicket here being cut now, I'm going to start working on these antelopes. It's very nice to keep them around. So we're going to worship them. That's going to take a while. But we do have just enough production now. We're going to be down to 1.5, as we can see, and we are on our last turn of building the temple. The swamp clearing continues. So all of that I'm pretty happy with, continuing to expand the housing. Still the 1 protection left from Seth, and Ptah is still ongoing. And there's our temple. So our ruler has informed us. Ptah is satisfied. The sight of this magnificent building heralds rising glory for our tribe. We are now a power to be reckoned with, and plus 10 favor is a nice bonus for us right at the time. And then our influence is growing to ensure future prosperity. The gods call upon us to unite all the peoples in the region under the power of our wise Horus. And this will all include, by the way, if you didn't conquer like the 3 tribes that are around us, such as the rabbit people, if you didn't conquer them, they will be added to this. So there's 5 off-map tribes, but could be as many as 8. Now we can take a look at the help here. You can use force and your army if the tribe is easy to annex, diplomacy and luxuries if they're easy to assimilate. And if both approaches prove to be challenging, first weaken the tribe using the assistance of your patron god. The power of independent chiefs in Lower Egypt grew, and they competed to unite the lands into a powerful chiefdom. 1 or perhaps more of such chiefdoms began to form on the lands of the future Memphis. Elite cemeteries near the modern sites of Helwan, Tarkon, and Torah tell us about the emergence of power in this region. Okay. So, once again, struggles between local tribes and the goal of unification. And what we're going to want to do then is just take the various options here. But what I like to do is sometimes the assimilate option will be as low as, say, 15. If it's about 15 or 20 luxuries, I'll usually take that approach. Or if the military strength is particularly intense. Now, we have 256. I like to go in with this at least 200 military, so our army is plenty high enough to deal with it. So we're just going to annex. Looks like it's going to be an easy victory. And I'm not going to gamble here, because if I gamble and we get ambushed at the start, we're going to be in trouble. I just want to minimize my losses. Okay, we only lost 1. That's good. Now the bull people. They have a stronger that's pretty strong military, actually. Yeah, and this is fairly cheap, so I'm just going to take the diplomatic route. Okay, weak military, and 25 isn't hugely high, but we should definitely be able to fight them off. And there we go. 2 more to go, the elephant people. Strong military. That's reasonably low. We're going to go with that. And then finally, the strongest military belongs to the lion people. Again, that's reasonably low. Again, I could conquer them here, and you could argue that's actually the better option. Don't use up all your luxuries. But I think we'll be able to get more. So, it's sort of an eeny, meeny, miny, mo on this one. I'm going to go with the assimilate. We have done it, and we get plus 60, so we basically gain back all of the luxuries that we spent. That makes it even better, and we get, plus 3 food, plus 1 production, and plus 0.5 favor for uniting Memphis, and that's not all we get. A lot more is going to be happening. We now have authority in Lower Egypt. So, we have knowledge of new lands. The entire city map has been explored. and positive results there. So we can just take a look around, and we have all kinds of things to deal with now. We've got like evil spirits here. We've got different animals that we can hunt or that we can, assimilate and worship. Like, definitely want to do that with these antelopes, for example. More goody huts, if you will, to explore. Fertile glade. We've got lions that are going to be a threat. Oh, more lions over here, but also wildfowl that are reasonably favorable towards us. More accursed place there. More lions. Lots to deal with here. But we didn't have to spend the time to scout all this because you get it for free once the temple is built up. And then they want to give us all kinds of information about regions and population. We're just going to pop out here for a minute to the map of Greater Egypt. This is our world map to the extent that it exists. And we have different regions here that we can look at, different ones that we can explore as well. So this is just a much more scaled up version of the city map, and also with more options. There's going to be a lot to deal with in this next episode. We've got a lot of decisions to make on how we want to deploy our people. We're going to definitely reassess everything that we're doing here on the local Memphis map. So all of that to come as we move forward, but a couple more quests out of the way. No more trials for a bit yet, but many adjustments will be needed as we now get a picture of the larger scope. And we're no longer in the early game, progressing to more mature and complicated levels of the game. We'll get to that coming up soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Egypt Old Kingdom will continue.